All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about Cleanspark, stock ticker CLSK. They are a Bitcoin mining company. They put out their December monthly operational report, so we can go through December. We can go through what happened with them for the year. I got a lot of charts to show you guys. So if you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button, it helps the channel out a lot. Lastly, if you want to be a member on the channel, you can hit the join button on the YouTube page. It's right next to the subscribe button. If you don't see a join button, then there should be a link below. Members get some members only content. We do a once a week live stream every Tuesday after the market closes, and the members get to pick a company once a week for me to do a deep dive on. So I do a members only video for that. So we have a lot of fun there. You're welcome to join us. Let's talk about Cleanspark. Okay, so Cleanspark right now, we're in the middle of the trading day. They're trading at $2.14.5. They're up just under 7%. Everything is green so far at this point in the day. So if we go all the way back to January of 2021, which was quite some time, that's 2 years ago, actually to the day today, this company was over $1 billion. That was during a period of time where things had run up a bit. So fast forward to November of 2021. So that's just a little over a year ago. This was an $860 million market cap company. It's now a $153 million market cap company. So you can see that market cap is down drastically, but I will show you in a chart later. This was actually one of the better performing Bitcoin mining stocks in the year 2022, just from the perspective of their stock performance. So again, we'll check that chart out later. I want to get to their operational report. Let's see how they did in December and how they did for the year. Okay, Cleanspark releases December 2022 Bitcoin mining update. So their headline is company hits new daily production high of 22 Bitcoin. So that's 22 Bitcoin mined in one day. And they mined a record 4,621 Bitcoin for the calendar year 2022. That is up 200% from the previous calendar year 2021. So you can see this is a monster increase in productivity. We're going to see the same thing in hash rate and in every way measurable. Cleanspark grew substantially in the year 2022. All right, I'm going to skip ahead to the middle and just go through some of their numbers to start with. December Bitcoin mining update. Bitcoin mined in December was 464. So we're going to take a look at that. That's actually less than they mined in November. This is the first month in the last 7 months that they haven't broken their all-time record for Bitcoin mined in a month. They do go on to explain why that is. There was some severe weather, and they had to participate in some curtailment, which we'll go through later in the update. However, they did have a day where they mined 22 Bitcoin, and that's the best day the company has ever had. And with the exahash rate where they ended up, you'll see, I think a lot of days in January are going to look a lot closer to those 22 Bitcoin per day. So that gives them a real chance of maybe getting over 600 Bitcoin mined in the month of January. Some of that will depend on the weather and how much curtailment they have to participate in. But I'm looking for potentially 600 Bitcoin in the month of January to be mined by Cleanspark, which would once again be their all-time record. Okay, 2022 calendar year Bitcoin mined 4,621. So there were 3 companies that mined over 5,000 Bitcoin, one of which was Core Scientific. Now, Core Scientific, I'm kind of excluding. Only Riot and Bitfarms mined more Bitcoin in the year 2022 than Cleanspark. So they set out a goal at the beginning of this year to get into the top 5. That seemed like a very lofty and maybe even unrealistic goal on January 1st of 2022, but they did make it happen. They grew more as a percentage than any other Bitcoin miner. Okay, so their Bitcoin holdings on December 31st were 228. So we know they don't have a HODL strategy. They do tend to keep around 200 or 300 or 400 Bitcoin on hand. They've basically funded operations and growth through their Bitcoin that they mine. Now, they also have done some stock dilution. But again, that's why I like to take a look at market cap versus share price. Adding more stock should not decrease your market cap. And of course, that's what happened to this company. Even having said that, we're going to see that from a stock performance, this was one of the best performing Bitcoin mining stocks out of the 18 that we follow in the year 2022. Okay, total Bitcoin converted for operations and growth in December was 517. So they mined 464. They spent 517 to fund operations and growth. That is very similar. I'm just going to take a quick look. This was November's update. So you'll see in November, they mined 535. So that was more than December. December. And again, we'll get to the fact that they had to do some curtailment. They held 281 at the end of the month, so that was similar. And they spent 544. So that was similar as well. So lastly, you're going to see as of November 30th, they had 5.5 exahash of Bitcoin mining machines up and running. So if I go to this month's operational report, as of December 31st, that was now 6.2 exahash. So they again added substantial exahash to their operations in the month of December. So currently deployed a fleet of about 63,700 latest generation Bitcoin miners with a hash rate of 6.2 exahash per second. And that's up 13% from November of 2022. And it's up 225% from December of 2021. So year over year, 225% increase in their exahash. So again, as a percentage, this is the biggest that any company did out of all the publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies. Okay, then they go on to say December's daily Bitcoin mining average was about 15 Bitcoin a day, but it reached a high of 22. That 15 is mainly because there were a lot of days they had to power down. That's a 98% power down for several days, and that is what brought their average down per day for the month, and that is why they did not mine as many Bitcoin in December as they did in November. So on a daily basis, they were mining the most Bitcoin that they've ever mined, and so that's why I expect January to break their record again, unless there's another storm event like this. This was an outlying storm event. This was unusual weather. So a lot of the Bitcoin miners had a similar experience in the month of December. One of the things that made them a standout company in 2022 is they started in January selling their Bitcoin and funding operations and growth. As a result, they got to average out of Bitcoin over the course of the year. So their average price per Bitcoin sold is much, much higher than most of the other Bitcoin miners that waited until they were forced to sell their Bitcoin at or near the lows. So that strategy worked out very well for them from a growth standpoint. So just to take a closer look, this is Bitcoin mined by month for CleanSpark. So these are some charts that I put together based on everybody's monthly operational report. So you'll see starting in June, they had 6 months in a row where they beat their all-time record number of Bitcoin mined. So I do expect them to get back on track in January of 2022 and set a new all-time Bitcoin mining record. 535 is the number to beat. That should be fairly easy to beat at 6.2 exahash. So obviously we'll have to wait and see, but that's what I'm thinking for them in the month of January. Just to revisit a few things real quickly, this is a chart of all the Bitcoin miners' performance from January 1st, 2022 to January 31st, 2022. So that's the year 2022. So you can see CleanSpark was actually tied for the best performing Bitcoin miner. Now, unfortunately, they were down 79%, and that was a tie for the best performing Bitcoin miner. You can see Bitcoin itself was down 64% from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So obviously, we all know this was a very, very difficult year for all the Bitcoin miners, but CleanSpark did stand out. Okay, and then just to remind everybody, I finally did put out my top 4, really my top 8 list. So this is absolutely just my opinion. This is not financial advice. This is the first opinion list I have put out of ranking the Bitcoin miners, not from any numbers point or matrix. So I just did this video last week, and you'll see I had CleanSpark as my number 2 overall Bitcoin miner. So I still feel good about that ranking. I think they had a very good December. Yes, they had to participate in some curtailment, so they did not break their record for Bitcoin mined in a month, but we did have an unusual storm come through North America, and I think that affected a lot of the Bitcoin miners. So I do think all in all, this was a very good month, and taking a look at the year, this was an absolutely outstanding year for CleanSpark. This is CleanSpark on the one-day time frame. In orange, we'll see Bitcoin's performance over the second half of the year 2022. For the last half of the year, CleanSpark was down 49.42%. In that same time, Bitcoin was down 17.29%. So CleanSpark drastically underperformed Bitcoin. All of the Bitcoin miners drastically underperformed Bitcoin. This is a leveraged play, so this is the hard part of being a Bitcoin mining stock owner. The leverage works to the downside the same way it works to the upside. So unfortunately for now, as Bitcoin is down at lower numbers, CleanSpark, along with all the other Bitcoin miners, has taken a big hit. That's the risk reward everybody should keep in mind. These are super highly volatile plays. So again, not financial advice. Please be super careful investing in these. I want to just take a look at a few numbers. Okay, so once again, this is CleanSpark on the one-day time frame. There's a purple line here, and this dates back to September 12th. You'll see at that time, Bitcoin was trading at around $22,000. So from that point, Obviously, Bitcoin is down quite a bit. It's just under $17,000 right now. But CleanSpark is down about 56% in that period of time. Right now, with the nice day that they're having today, they're about 20% off of their 2-year lows, which they hit in the middle of December. So you'll see CleanSpark did get down to $1.74. That was on Monday, December 19th. So it has recovered about 20%, like I said, since then. But it's still very far off of even some of its recent numbers. So if we were to just get back to where it was at the end of October, so if we were to have a Bitcoin relief rally of some sort, it looks like there's maybe a 77 or 78% upside just to get back to that October number. And then lastly, about 130% upside to get back to where CleanSpark was trading when Bitcoin was around 22,000. So I think that could be a realistic price target if at some point in the first half of the year, Bitcoin does get either a relief rally or starts a bull market and gets back into that $22,000 price point. So obviously, again, not financial advice. Please be super careful trading these. That is my update for CleanSpark for the month of December for the year of 2022. So we'll see how 2023 goes. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.